The following program contains views that are not those of WVTC, iNetworks Communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. What a beautiful day that the Lord has certainly made for you and I. This is Windy City Podcast. My name is Gerald Montgomery, and today we're going to have, God, I look like I'm white, heavenly, an angel from heaven. So do he. Hey. And the one in darkness.
That's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Uh-huh.
We got to preach over there to get you saved now. All right. Good morning once again. This is a great day. I'm glad to have this couple with me. They are married. On my right, your left, it is none other than Chris Anderson. Everybody know Chris Anderson in Chicago. Everybody got it.
Good morning.
And the one and only Kim McFarland Anderson.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, this is what I like the power couple, because we had Curtis and Shelly Lindsay with us, and they were talking about, primarily what I'm going to ask you, but going in a little deeper about this industry that we call gospel music. So y'all doing all right?
Wonderful.
Yeah, because because we was dark up in here first. I told Dr. Morris, this is now the South African podcast. No, Lord. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. Let me talk to Chris first, and about, because I know Chris, because I know both of them because of our families know each other, and being from that Maywood area, Chicago West. That's right,
Maywood.
The woods, girl. So Chris, tell me a little bit about who Chris Anderson is. I know him as a musician. I know that you're married to your wife Kim, but just to dive into, who are you? What?
Well, I'm a child of the King.
Mm-hmm.
I realized real early that actually, even that God had a call on my life, and He was protecting me even in my ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't brought up in church,
okay,
or whatever. So what happened is, even when I was out there, actually in a bad way,
mm-hmm.
God protected me even before I knew who He was or if He was.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how my life was when I was a child, I was like, if God exists, where has He been for me? Because it was rough at the time. But what it comes down to, when I came into the knowledge of the truth, I started understanding and seeing those moments that He's always had me.
Okay.
So what it comes down to, I learned that my life is helps.
Okay.
My job is to actually help somebody to help somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm called to actually see a problem
Mm-hmm.
and be the answer through Him, because He gives me the power and the wisdom to do so.
So you're saying that you wasn't like me and Kim, both of us are PKs, but how was it far as growing up? I mean, I understand, when you finally see the light and you come in contact with God, Christ, but was it hard for you coming up, was it a struggle being a teenager, trying to find a way, trying to find friends? And did you get with that wrong crowd? Did you were you by yourself?
I was PKs. I was a DK.
Oh, DK.
Oh, the devil's kid.
Oh,
yeah. What happened is,
I like
pretty much my mother, actually, she was raising 7 kids
mm-hmm.
by herself.
Okay.
Father wasn't in the home. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, my mother, she would go to work. She would actually work sundown just to actually have a roof over our heads and food in our mouth. So what it comes down to, we knew you better be in the house at a certain time. We knew she called to check in at a certain time, so we know we was in.
Right.
About time when she called, we got that call, we went back out. But actually, I was a kid of the streets.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I mean, actually, you name it. I mean, I had a bad attitude. I was mad at the world because how my life was going, and I didn't understand. And my mother didn't have the wisdom to really explain certain things. So we were raised by the streets,
right,
and whatever. So the things that I found home, whether the gangs or whatever, that was my family. And you know, I wasn't taught the right way. But I came into the church. My sister Chardell, she was the first one who actually came to church, and she would try to actually bring me into the knowledge. And she started reading scripture and started crying. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I mean, stop that. And, you know, so it was like a turn off. But my thing is, my life was based on the streets. And I learned, but when I first came to the church, it was this lady. Funny story. I come to the church. I'm on the porch playing my guitar. This guy named James come and said, "Could you come to the church?" I'm like, "No, I ain't going down to the church." You know. And actually, she saw me with the guitar. So he decided, well, just come on. We're doing an outdoor thing. I'm like, okay, I'll come. And so they moved everything into the church or whatever. So this lady, she came to give me a hug. That was strange because my mother didn't embrace us like that. So the lady came to give me a hug and I pushed her. And she's like, "No, baby," or whatever. And so my thing is, it was strange to me, but I felt bad. So to actually make it up to her, she told me, "You keep coming. I want you to come every week for the next month." I came, she became like a mother. That's how I came into the church.
And it started with a guy that said, you know, come to church. And you said no. But this to an event, it was outside. Yes. Rain that day. God is just good, man. Made you come back, you know, to the church. And from that point, that's how it started with you, as far as coming up in church. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to Chris Anderson and Kimberly McFarland Anderson. You know them, especially here in Chicago. You know them. That's who I wanted to have them on, because they're family. Anytime I want to, pause and say this, anything that I want, I would call, Kim or text Kim, as far as music wise, she'll have it right away. Matter of fact, your music was one of the first that I got when I started the internet show. So I want to say thank you. I just want to pause before that was in my head. So I don't want to forget, because now I'm reaching that point of being 42 again. Again. All right. So now that you are in church, are you playing music? Are you playing? What are you doing now?
I'm doing it all. I'm writing, I'm producing, I'm actually playing. See, the big thing is I have a captivated audience every single week. I play for hundreds. And the thing is, people look to be on the major gigs, even though I've done the major gigs. But it's a thing where you actually, every week, God lends you his people to minister to every week. And you know how you have a responsibility. So as far as music, I believe that it's a tool to reach. Okay. And I'm just one of the crazy ones who believe that a good word will actually change the situation. So as far as that, I produce, I write, wrote for many artists. I would have played for many artists, especially everybody in Chicago. Right. But as far as music, I believe that God gave it to me to be a help. Right. And my whole life is about help.
Right. Right. And the list is long with you. I mean, long. Long. And the reason why I'm kind of pushing that is because we have young singers, young musicians that see both of you, performing or ministering to large crowds, and like you said, even to small crowds, medium crowds, and it you had to really travel this road to get to where you are now. I mean, it's rough, even in being in radio myself. I've been in 32 years. So it has been some highs and lows, and it has been some disappearing acts that I did not want to come, did not want to, has there ever been a day that you did not want to go? And I'm going to say this, did not want to go to ministry. No, you had somebody call you, well, a known artist, but you was just, I'm gonna ask you the same thing, Kim. One of those days, one of those weeks, what do you do when I just don't feel like it?
Always. A matter of fact, this is pretty much every Sunday when I don't want to get up. But I got to the point where I was traveling so much that whenever whether I got a call to go to Italy or whatever, I kind of got this heaviness over me. I don't want to go. And I go to the airport. That's how come I don't really like to travel now unless I have to, because I like to be home. So I'm having this heaviness till I get on the plane, then I'm fine. I get to the place, then I'm fine. Okay. But the thing is, whenever I'm going to minister or whatever, or play, when I get there, it stops being about me, and I forget about me. So all the stuff dissipates until it's time to get back to the airport. Right. But coming home, I'm always good. But it's always a time when I'm like, I don't feel like it, but I actually know God has given me a gift, and He's made me a conduit. The blessing ain't supposed to come to me; it's supposed to move through me. So what it comes down to, whenever I'm in front of people, God lend me these people. He lend me His precious gift. I got to be responsible and accountable to what He's given me.
Right. And the people who you do play for, there's a little mix of I see gospel, artists on here, and there is a mixture. Is gospel the only, music that you play, or do you play for R&B? I'm not being real, because, in this day and time, musicians, will play at church Sunday morning. No, they got a gig, somewhere else, not so much another church, but far as secular artists, far as a jazz artist, is that you? If it is you, how can, and I always ask my wife this, because she says, if Mariah Carey called me to do background, I'm out of here. That's it. Oh, sound like it's somebody, she got a witness over here. So would you, art, or do you, would you pick up somebody as far as an R&B artist?
I have, and I do. Music, see, God created music, and it was a positive thing. We as people, we corrupt it. There's no difference. C, whether it's classical, country, western, R&B. The thing is, we have to be wise as the world. We're called to win souls. If Jesus was here, He wouldn't be hanging out in the walls of the church. He'll be out there trying to propel men to come, or show them the way. So what it comes down to, if you have the right mindset, and you have to have the right mindset, because you can get out there and get twisted. But if you have the right mindset, playing for Wayne Brady, and with Marcellus, it's a secular quote unquote event, but that don't make me secular. I'm still a child of the King, and how I walk in front of them becomes the example. So what it is, yes, I do, and I will, because it's about us actually showing the other end and showing them the way, because a lot of them don't know, and we may be the only ones who lead them to that or show them the way.
Let me switch it over here to Kim, because people have seen you with Donald Lawrence. That's who you currently were traveling with. So if the Beehive called you, girl, I need a background singer.
Babe, can you take my bag to the car?
But and to both of you as well, is that, and I understand what Chris said. I really do. Are you selling out, or are you just doing it as a business ministry? I guess what Chris said.
It's a business ministry. It's not selling out. The Lord knows my heart. And He also knows that I got bills that need to be paid.
Okay.
Williams.
But yeah, so if I ever got that call, I would go. And I'm gonna sing, and I'm gonna minister to her. We gonna pray. We gonna crack open that Bible. Amen.
Amen. So to you all,
So now I'm not,
okay.
but I'm not on the stage twerking and all of that. I'm in the background on the microphone. Amen.
But you know, her singers do, you know.
Not all of them.
Some.
Not all of them.
Maybe that was the wrong artist I picked out. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are talking to Kimberly McFarland Anderson and Chris Anderson. Can I switch role? Not switch roles, but switch conversation. And we start with Chris. How is it, being married to her? And how did y'all meet?
She probably got a different story, but I got the real one. But you know what? It's ebbs and flows.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. If something ever happened to our marriage,
Mhm.
no, it's me. Kim is a wise woman. She's stubborn, but she's wise. She gets everything she wants and still have me thinking I'm the boss. Hey, baby, can I have a fur? No, you have two that you don't even wear. And we just paying to put them in storage.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what do you want to eat? Now, I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, I go and get it.
All right.
What I told her she couldn't have
Mhm.
because of how she handled it.
Right.
We've been together more than half her life. And we never had an argument. And you know it's not because of me.
Time. Throw the flag out. Let me throw the flag out.
Never.
Yellow flag.
Never.
Let me turn to you. Okay, I want him. Let me go back a little bit because I don't want him to signal you. So you're saying to me, Chris, your husband is saying to me, you all as a married couple in the 21st century, y'all go to church, y'all play, y'all sing, and you're saying to me that you all never had an argument.
I wasn't raised like that.
Mhm.
So for me, I never saw my mother and father argue. They never argued in front of us. Whatever disagreement they had, they would go away.
Okay.
So I carry that
Mhm.
in my marriage. Now he gets upset,
Okay.
but I just stand back.
Mhm.
Let him say what he gonna say. I'm calm.
Like you are now.
Yes, I'm calm.
Okay.
And when it's calm, then but yeah, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not going to argue.
Okay.
See, I run
I'm trying.
house. I run the wash machine. I run the wash machine, the vacuum cleaner. I run my house.
I'm glad you said all that. I'm so
We talk,
okay.
but all of that arguing
Uh-huh.
and screaming and hollering, it doesn't solve anything.
It doesn't. True. Yes.
And that's what I learned from my parents. And so I carry that.
Mhm. So, like yours, I've never seen my parents argue. I have seen my dad get, like you said, with Chris, angry, but never came out on my mother.
Mhm.
I've never like you all just like you just said, I never seen it. But it's kind of, in today's society, even in people in church, arguments probably start at the church. You see, I've seen it a lot. You see a husband and wives in the church arguing, taking on outside to the parking lot, almost ready to throw blows. But you all are saying is that you all do not argue at all. Him get angry, but you just stay calm.
Yeah.
Let him blow. Yes, sir.
Let me be
Yes, sir.
transparent.
Beats.
My biggest, what I actually get really, really, I ain't gonna say demonstrative because I talk to her, but I get upset if I ask you to do something.
Mhm.
I'm not asking you to do it for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm asking you to do it for you. But it comes down to when Kim, she got that T.H. McFarland in her. So when she actually dig in, she dig in.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So the thing is with that, I'll actually say what I have to say,
Mhm.
and it's removed.
Okay.
You know, so I'm done with it. So the when you look at it in brass text, the reason there is no arguments because she'll actually hear it, whether she obey it or not. That's a different thing.
I like what you said. Obey.
See, because here's the thing: people don't understand. Obedience
Yes.
is not based on you being made to do it. Obedience is based on you being willing to do it. Because if I have to make you do it, then you're not being obedient. So now my biggest things is like timeliness.
Mhm.
You say you're gonna be there on time, be there on time. Those certain things. But what it is, I have to pay attention. Here, that's my wife.
Okay.
She's not as strong as I am.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I care more about her
Right.
than I do about him.
Okay.
So
got you.
I'll always
I got
put her first,
Mhm.
even if it's not going to put me in the best light. Because guess what? My responsibility is protect her
Mhm.
and not protect me. I'm supposed to actually worry 100% about her and 0% about me. 50-50 doesn't exist.
Mhm.
Because if it's 50-50, if you did it one time too much, now it's your turn. That's where the friction starts.
Right.
So my thing is, even when I did my record or whatever,
Mhm.
it's still about Kim. Because guess what? To me, that's the article.
Okay.
No matter what I do, I write the songs,
Mhm.
I put everything together. That's the article.
He got you high up there,
She up there.
and she boo-hooing. Yeah, you all are very unique. Very, very. And you know, and I really, I've never really took the time to really, speak to you all because really I'm just when I call or we see each other somewhere or I call you, it's really about the business in the industry.
Yes.
Period. That's it. But far as when you get to know someone, especially when we see people on television, we see them on the movie screens, we see them on YouTube or on social media, on wherever we see people at, we assume how they are.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are
Mhm.
because the only thing we see is what we see. That's it. So when I see Chris, and it's always been good, nothing bad. There's nothing bad at all. What's up, Doc? What's going on? What's happening? Oh, and I'm like, and I'm that could be far as our relationship, but we do speak. I say hello to you. It might not be, hey, Doc, let's go grab some of these chicken wings that your wife said that you can cook. All right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm coming back to that one. Don't worry about that. It's forefront in my head. All right. So all right. We learned that you don't argue at all. Him get angry, but you'll just sit back in the cut and say, all right, go right ahead, mister. Say what you got to say. And then when it's time and the temperature comes down with him, then you come on in. I got you. All right. So did you know that before you got married, how calm she was?
No, because all I knew, I thought when we get married, some things gonna change.
Okay.
Because when I didn't mean to actually get into this when I started doing the management thing,
Mhm.
it was because another artist wouldn't do it.
Okay.
So she fooled me
Mhm.
into taking it until this other artist is ready.
Right.
But it was always about protecting her. She would always go pay to go somewhere or whatever, get her hair done or whatever. And then I said, God bless you. So she come home now. I don't have gas money, that kind of thing. So it was like a protective measure.
Okay.
And so in the grand scheme of things, we got a 6-year difference.
Mhm.
So I wasn't going to marry Kim because she was too young. And I thought she was too talented. And my thing is, with me, Kim and Chris won't last a year.
Wow.
The word was out that I put my hands on my wife the whole 9 yards. So they had me as this big ogre, and I'm actually feeling it, but I can't say nothing. I mean, I make her do this. I ask him to do something, and she don't want to do it. Like, but guess what? She's a free moral agent.
Right.
I don't tell her what to do. I can't.
Right. Okay. All right. We're learning. I am learning. If nobody else, I am learning who they are. All right. It's
Just be
sweet.
picking on my husband.
That's fine. I can take it. I'm built for this.
What's up? Well, you think I'm picking on him?
No, I said they.
Oh, they. Oh.
People.
Well, you know,
They-
because
they just don't know. They don't know him.
and that's why I brought up what we'll see people in the light on probably on screen, and we see them, oh glory to God. We see them or on the movie screen or video. We see that what they do. And then sometimes when like I said, when I see you, it's just, hey, what's happening? And then to deep dive to get and just to sit down and have this conversation with both of you. And then I'm like, huh? That's how this conversation with me is going, huh? So all right, y'all got together, y'all got married. My wife said, I showed the picture of my of you all, your wedding picture, and I said, "God, you look at this. You see them?" She said, "That's beautiful." And I was going to use that picture to promote, when y'all come, when you all here. I was. But I said, I don't know, because things have changed.
Listen,
Uh-huh.
a lot.
Yeah. I said this, like Kim was light skinned on this one. I wish I could show it. I got it, but I'm not going to promote it. But anyway.
No, you can show it. You can show it. You go ahead.
No. Okay. I will.
What, 30 years ago?
Yep. How long you been married?
How many years ago?
Okay.
30.
How many years ago?
30. It'll be 31 this year.
Okay, very good.
30 years ago.
Sometimes I don't. With him, it seems like this boat ain't going straight no more.
It will not be 31 until September 3rd.
There you go.
I just called the years before. That's actually, a cured time.
All right.
But we did date for 6 years before we got married.
Really?
Yeah, 6 years on and
She
off.
was too young.
You know what? And you know what? I get you on that. Now, Kim, you might not like me on this one, but if I just feel if you're dating and then you ask the question, some kind of way a man asks the question, how old are you? Usually you can tell by how they act or how, the maturity of what they do. But 6 years, did you feel that he was too old? No? In other words, she said, when I got you, I got you. That's what she just said. I'm sorry. That's what you just said. I ain't worried about I know
I had
age.
to work.
Uh-huh.
I had to work, but
So what you're saying is that
I had to work.
You
That's
had
all I
okay.
yeah.
Is he a work?
Mm-hmm.
Now he said it. I didn't. He said it. I didn't.
All right, gospel industry relationships,
Love
right?
my
This is what
husband.
you love your husband. I believe that you do.
He wanted right.
Yep.
All right, so Kim, being a PK, ooh Lord, living in this glass house like I was, and I so tell us how being a PK with you, how coming up. Okay. Yes, take your time.
I mean, it's just, all eyes on you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to be, perfect, and can't hang out with the wrong crowd. And I've felt like all eyes were on me because I had started singing, and then started singing with the Soul Children in my teenage years. So all eyes were on me.
Okay.
Not just at church, but in school, everybody knew that I was with the Soul Children. So everybody was watching.
Mm-hmm.
So it was challenging. But I'm grateful for everything that I went through because it made me who I am.
Okay. She ain't telling us the grit stuff, you know.
I know. Now, listen. Now,
Okay.
I was
Wait.
sneaky. I was sneaky.
What you say?
We ain't gonna tell. We ain't going that deep. But
I know we have to go.
I was sneaky, but yeah, I still had to.
Mhm.
But I was sneaky.
Okay. I don't know, because under her eyes, you see the smile, and Chris sees it too. You know, it's like,
He knows.
Okay. All right. And
No.
I'm not trying to put you on the
know.
spot.
I don't know if I
But
know.
my husband protects me. So
Okay. And I believe he does.
Oh.
God.
yeah, he protects, provides.
Mhm.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's my Boaz.
oh,
That's
as dry as I don't know
Deep
what.
in
No,
my
you
back.
didn't. No, you didn't. I'm one of the old sanctified preachers. Shut up.
Sit down.
All right. We're talking to Kim and Chris Anderson on this morning. I don't know if we go into a song. All right. When we come back, we're going to continue, but we're going to talk about more of the industry. We're going to talk more about Kim's. You have a project. You do have a project out, Dylan.
Yes.
You saying it's slow.
Absolution.
Okay, we'll come back and talk about all of that when we come right back on Windy City Podcast.
It's not given.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. That was Kim McFarland. She is somebody singer. I just learned something. We're going to go over it for the good of them who love the Lord. She also sings, I Tried Him and I Know Him. We Are One by Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago. And come back to the Tommy's in My Name. It's a wealth of good gospel history up in here. Now, Chris brought up, before I go deep dive in with Kim, Chris brought up about the two songs about what Kim had with the Soul Children and the Tommies. Tell us about it.
Yeah, she said she was 18. I thought it was 17, but I think I'm right and she's wrong. But anyway, for the good of them, with the Soul Children, and in my name, what's it in my name? No, for the good of them. Yes, they came out. They came out the same year, and both of them was in the top 10 at the same time on different records. The same artist in the top 10 on different records. Well, she know how it happened, but I was just telling him that she had two songs in the top 10 at the same time at 18.
See there? To all musicians, to all singers, to all choirs. And the number one thing is having a hit song. Chris always has been sharing with me, he didn't want to be a musician, but he just wanted to be a writer. You know, you can write music, but can it be written as and I know I'm not talking minister stuff. I'm talking about business. When you write a hit song and that song hits and it climbs up the charts, you will see what either you that wrote it or somebody wrote it for you, but it takes the person like Kim who sung We Are One, and I tried him for the good of them. And she, as you just heard her sing. Now, Kim, let's talk about you far as we did talk about your life as a PK, but now, how did you get to Walt Whitman? Did you hear them before? Let's start with that, because I don't know if that's the beginning of where you started singing at, but did you start with Walt Whitman, the Soul Children?
There was a lady that grew up at my home church, Unity Fellowship. Shout out to my home church, Unity Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
And she knew me from, she was a member under my dad. And she knew that I could sing, and she had heard of the Soul Children. So she came. By this time, my father had passed, and my mother had married Pastor Williams.
Okay.
And so by this time, she heard about the Soul Children, and she came and talked to my mother. And she wanted, she was like, there's this youth choir that I think would, Kim would fit in good with. Okay. My mother said no, because my grades are bad. But then she talked to my stepfather, Reverend Williams.
Okay.
Well, Reverend Williams knew Walt.
Okay.
They came up in New Covenant together.
Okay.
So he actually talked to my mother. So I have to give credit to my stepfather, because he talked to my mother and he convinced her to let me join.
Okay.
And so I went and auditioned and got in. And the very first concert, I never forget the very first concert we did, I led I Shall Wear a Crown.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so it was just from there. I was 15, age 15. From 15 to 18, I aged out.
Okay.
And right before I aged out in 1987, we did the live recording, Soul Children, Walt Whitman and Soul Children live recording. And it was entitled We Are One.
Okay.
Which was the song that Walter and I led together.
All right.
You want me to keep going?
Well, okay, as you aged out, the We Are One project became like the hit song across America. Then how was it? Did you get to the Tommies next, or
So we recorded We Are One in October of 87.
okay?
December of 87, I had aged out. And so I was, wasn't singing with anybody. And then in April of 88,
Okay,
I joined the Tommies.
all right.
And I think it was June of 88. I think it was June. Chris, when did you all record Rain on Us? Because it was 2 recordings back to back. It was
it was June.
It was June of 88. It was, yeah. And so June of 88, we did the recording that For the Good of Them was on. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, both of those songs, both of those projects were released the fall of 88. And that's how I ended up with 2 songs
Okay.
on the radio. Like
Okay.
one came out one week and the other project, We Are One came out first. And
Okay.
then the project with For the Good of Them came out the next
Okay.
week. And so Reverend Bronson
Mhm.
played them back to back.
Right.
And then Father Hayes followed suit because he came on at 5.
Right.
And then Pastor Campbell followed suit. He came on at 7
Right. Right.
on Saturdays.
On Saturdays. And that was the thing here in Chicago. Even though all 3 men are gone on,
Yes.
but they held gospel music down on set. Like a day like this, man, gospel music was highly in the air. So okay. So what did you, let me scoot back to Walt Women and the Soul Children. What learning experience did you learn from the Soul Children? Was there anything that you took from them? Walt said, what was the thing that you learned from the Soul Children?
What I mainly learned was he had taught us, my age group, the group that I was, he taught us to sing the song. Because back then it was, we were trying to do all our runs and stuff. And he was like, no, sing the song. People need to hear the lyrics of the song. And he taught us sing the song, save your runs for, the vamp or the climax of the song. Right. That's when but in the beginning, sing the song, sing the lyrics of the song. And then the other thing I learned was how to engage the audience and stage presence. So those were the.
All right. So Walt Whitman, the Tommies, somewhere around there, you meet this dude. Somewhere you get to the Tommies, and because at that time the Tommies was traveling, was singing, you're going from one professional group to another professional group. So you meet this dude, and I'm sorry, Chris Android Anderson.
Changed your life.
Yes.
I met him right after the Tommies recording.
Okay.
I'll tell the real story when she finished.
No, I did. I met you. You were on the bass, babe. You were playing Rain on. You were for the Rain on Us recording.
I'll tell you the truth.
Okay, now go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was reversed. We recorded before you all.
Okay.
So what happened was Tyrone Block brought Kim up to me. Now it was after the session, right after the session. I was like tired. I'm ready to go or whatever. He says, "Hi, this is Kim in front." I said, "Hi," and I was trying to get out there. So now they're rehearsing, and I come to the rehearsal, and actually she's singing, and I say, Tyrone, who was that? He says, man, get out of here.
You didn't recognize it.
He said, man, get out of here. I introduced her and you poofed her.
With my,
He pooped.
with my
And I said,
glasses.
So and I said, introduce me. So after rehearsal, Tyrone said, hey, Chris, this is Kim. She said, hi.
Oh, bam.
Yeah, so I was working at Triton College at the time in the printing service. And I'm going through the cafeteria and she was going to school there. And we talked because I was actually upset because she had to call us for a gig. Me and my best friend, it was me, Toby, and Felix. They didn't learn the material. Yeah, they didn't learn the material. So all three of us got fired.
What?
So I'm upset. So I'm like, I'm done. But we talked about it in the cafeteria or whatever.
Right.
And so every day we actually talk in the cafeteria. That's how. So she forgot. It was I poofed her first. She poofed me next.
It's like, really, I am not here. They talk. This how it is. They talk like this over me. You know.
we keep you in.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, all right. I always want to backtrack. Walt Whitman, the Soul Children of Chicago. I mean, Walt Whitman and T.H. McFarlane.
My daddy.
I'm sorry. T.H. McFarlane and
Unity Fellowship Mission of Baptist Church.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
he taught her to sing.
He did.
My dad, yeah.
So there is Mary Mary. It just came to me. There is Mary Mary. There are other, not so many female gospel artists that are duos, that are sisters, but what is the age difference between you and Keisha?
7 years.
Okay, so y'all at that time you coming up, she was a child. baby.
Yes.
Okay. But now y'all grown.
Yes.
Has there ever been a time that you say, hey, Keisha, because her sister Keisha McFarlane is
Amazing.
stupid.
Good word.
Well,
Good word.
Philly.com is her middle name.
Yes. She came to Powerhouse Sunday and just wore us out.
Yeah.
Wore us out.
Yeah.
So why did you ever think about, you and your sister do something?
Yeah, actually, my husband wrote a song for us. It's a tribute to my mother and my father. We just haven't gotten in the studio to do it.
Okay.
But it's coming.
It's coming.
It was supposed to be on my last EP.
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna get it done.
Okay. All right. So she, her and her sister are just crazy. Good. So now there was something I wanted to, but let me keep going on. All right. So now Tommy's, I'm quite sure you're singing, like I said, Tommy's were just singing everywhere. You're playing for the Thompson Community Singers as well. But now did you, I'm not going to say that you outgrown the Tommies. With Soul Children, you just aged out because they're, like it said, Walt Whitman and the Soul Children. The Tommies is a very adult sort of quote unquote community choir. But you singing all these, how many albums did you do with them?
I only did 3.
3? Okay. Did you do the Miracle album, the Red album?
That was before. I was still in the Soul Children.
Only reason I brought this up, Chris and Kim, because I was on that one. Yes, sir. I see you peeking behind the screen, Morris. I see you. If you look at the album, you go on Apple or Spotify, you bring up the Miracle Live, and I had hair. I just got over my Jerry Curl stage. I got over it. Click, got saved and sanctified. But the reason why I asked, because I'm like, dang, did I remember you from the Miracle album? That's the reason why I asked you, because I was on that. You sung before then. All right, I do sing, and I'm like, Chris, I didn't ever want to play. how I started playing is that I wanted to play a piano piece for my dad's church anniversary. And I learned in one day a song by Sister Marie Moody James. And she taught me, I learned it. I started playing ever since then. My father plays, my Brandy plays for everybody. He's doing much, much better. When you see this, he's doing much, much better. But now, how did you get with Donald Lawrence? What's up with that? How did you meet?
Well, I met him just, traveling. But what happened was it was Hurricane Katrina.
Mhm.
That they were having a big concert at Salem, a benefit concert for Hurricane Katrina
Mhm.
at Salem. It was on a Saturday. The concert was that Saturday night. That Saturday afternoon, they were having a lunch. They had a luncheon for the Announcers Guild, for the Radio Announcers Guild.
Mhm.
And I was there. Queenie called me and asked me if I was going. So I went, met Queenie there. And Donald came. And so we were about to leave. Donald said, Queenie, I need some singers because they want me to sing tonight. And he said, can you help me out? And she was like, sure. And so I'm standing there and he was like, well, Kim, do you know my songs? I was like, yeah. And he said, are you available tonight? I was like, sure. And he was like, well, do you know this? Do you know this? Yeah, I know that. Okay. You sing soprano, alto? I was like, alto. He said, okay. He said, I got the sopranos covered. So good. I got the altos covered. And from that day on.
Been singing ever since. See how God will make room for you. If you not acting, and this is another question I'm gonna ask both of you as far as how your attitude is when you do go out, that you're not singing nowhere, but you're just there to support somebody. That you acting with grace. You're not tripping out. They told me I'm gonna sit right up here in front. Why am I not sitting up here? Getting that west side. Why? So how do you, when you come into an auditorium or church, whatever venue it is, whether you do have to sing or not, your character. Some artists that I've seen, background singers, they just think they're up here and think they're supposed to be like the it in the it, and they have this attitude. How do you act? How is your accountability of when you come into a place? Is it, that I'm high and mighty, or I am Chris Anderson? I have my two phones. There's a seat for the Android and the iPhone, and then I do need a seat. You have to really listen to the morning show in the morning because when he pops in. But anyway, so how is your attitude as far as when you going somewhere, or how does one supposed to act when they, because both of you are well known here. So how do you keep up what you're doing now, being in the public?
You want me to answer first?
Go ahead.
I am a backseat person,
Mhm.
back row at the program. I'm never one that wants to be paraded down the aisle and, gotta have the front row seat. That's not me. I'm there to support and to enjoy.
Okay.
And so I've always been like that. I sit in the back at my church. If I'm not doing anything, I sit in the back. I don't need the front row. It's not important. It's not important to me.
The old saints would say, you, whether you are an artist or not, you just need to come up front because that's where the fire is at. You know, y'all.
The fire's in me.
Oh, really? Okay.
So wherever I sit,
you burn.
within.
I hate you. At least move to the middle. All right. So, Chris, what you say?
Well, really, I'm just when I'm out in public, I'm just a social butterfly.
Okay.
I'm never want to be seen. The only time you see me is if I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time I'm out there talking, hanging out, and they're like, "Hey, you're supposed to be on stage," you know.
Mhm.
So the thing is, I mean, when I'm out, it's about enjoying people. I love enjoying people. So.
All right. I understand we got 3 minutes. Just to wrap up everything.
That's it.
Yeah. I tell you, it goes
We ain't
by.
done. No, we
It
got
goes- Oh, now you want to talk. Now you want to say something. Over here, like quite in the back. That's what you in the back.
Uh-huh.
All right, quickly. And I just want to, if it means, if I want you to tell us, where can people find your project?
Chris Anderson Absolution is on all digital outlets.
Okay.
Chris Anderson Absolution.
All right, there you go. Kim McFarland, you just look on. No. What's your new project you have? The latest, what you have out now?
My praise continues.
Okay, because we're playing that I win, and I paid it all different from
Jesus paid it all.
Jesus paid it all. All right, you can find that on iTunes, Apples, and everywhere you buy your music. All right,
Yes.
Kim, Chris, thank you so much. The time goes, it flies. And I understand when people say when time on television, they said time moves. It really does. I thank you all. I thank you all
for having
from the
us.
bottom of our heart. These are two people that you need to know. You can hit them up on Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
Mhm.
All right. You don't look like a Facebook person. Really don't. You know what? I think you needed to go. I think you needed to be into mortuary services. You'll be great because you know what you do.
I never thought about that.
He don't move. He don't blink. He just
It's my Tourette's.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great and wonderful day.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, and iNetworks Communication Station.